Bros and hoes, you're listening to Your Favorite Thing podcast with
Wells and Brandi. The Bachelorette continues on. This is the best travel season. What's happening here? Now they're going to Auckland, New Zealand?
Must be nice.
Must be nice. You know where I went? I went to Nemacolin, Pennsylvania.
Ugh.
And then we went abroad, and we went to Uruguay, which was pretty cool, actually.
That's pretty cool.
And then we went to Buenos Aires in Argentina.
Also pretty cool. Okay, quit complaining.
I know. And then I got kicked off the show.
And that's on you.
But I got to say, this was another good episode. Yeah. I feel like this is a good season.
That's because these bitch boys are being dramatic. That's why it's good.
I'm gonna say something that might be controversial. I'm not sure.
Okay, all right.
There's a lot of people to be annoyed about in this cast.
Yep.
I am irrationally annoyed by Thomas more than anybody else.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I think I said this maybe earlier. You know, Thomas's ex came out and said some shady shit on TikTok when this whole thing started.
Really? What'd they say?
Yeah, I think it was the typical, like, he was dating me and broke up with me for the show. But, you know, she painted him in not a great light.
You know what he gives me? He gives me, like, sidekick vibes.
What do you mean by that exactly?
Like, if Sam N is Batman, he's Robin.
Ah, totally.
And he's like this, like, annoying gnat that's just, like, always there.
He doesn't really have his own ideas. He's just kind of like, yeah, get him.
Yeah. He's like, figured out who the cool kids are, and like he's just like kind of agreeing with the cool kids.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, I'm sure he's a lovely person. When I meet him, if I ever do, I'm sure he'll be great. But on the show, I'm like irrationally annoyed by this man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the Bachelorette opens up with some dark, ominous figure joining the show. Who is it going to be? Someone from her past, no doubt. And we're off to Auckland, New Zealand, which is pretty cool. All the guys are hanging out together, drinking some fruity drink. It's like a buttery nipple or a Sex on the Beach. I don't know what you guys are drinking, but can we get some man drinks in there? Can we get some beers? Can we get some whiskey? Because, like, you guys are one umbrella away from just, you know.
I judge somebody hard on what they're drinking.
Yeah, they are one beverage umbrella away from Fire Island, I feel like.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. There is something that is innately cool about someone who can order a good drink.
I agree.
Like a girl who orders a whiskey thing, you're like,
Oh, like me?
Yeah, or like my wife. Like girls that order like a skinny bitch, like the vodka Diet Coke, you're like, come on. That's no fun.
It's not.
So anyways, big cheers to the buttery nipples. The Sex on the Beach is delicious. And then Jesse and Jen go get food together, which is very funny to me for a lot of reasons. One, because I go and I eat with Jesse a lot. When we film Paradise, and he orders everything on the fucking menu. Like Jesse's in his rich boy era where he's like, we're trying everything.
I want it all.
We're getting the best bottle of wine, boys and girls. We're having a good time, and I appreciate him for that. And then he tells the story of the reason why that they don't allow you to eat on dates is because of Jesse, which is very funny.
It is funny, and honestly, like, it's a pretty good claim to fame right there.
Yeah, I know. I remember I did a date with Ashley Canetti where we ate tacos together, and I remember the producers were like, we haven't done this in a very long time where we let you guys eat. And I was like, oh, really? Well, I'm special. That's nice. All right, so then we cut back to the boys who are drinking their buttery nipples, and Jen joins and grabs Sam. Is it Sam N or Sam M?
I don't fucking know. It's like M-N-N-M.
Yeah, the guy who's a little too cocky. Let's be honest with you.
The blondie.
Yeah. I'm kind of bummed that there was no date card, but whatever. This is how they do it, I guess, in Auckland. I tell you what, Devin is becoming my favorite character on the show. You were right, but him saying like it's like not not Devin making fun of Sam for saying the four same things over and over again. And it's like, I'm going to be my authentic self. I'm going to keep the main thing the main thing. I'm looking for ferocious love. And they use the audio of him saying it over him saying it as he leaves. Wow, Devin, so funny.
It's
so
good.
fucking funny.
Yeah.
This date was very interesting. And
it was.
You think that there's a point where like Jen's going to realize problems with this guy, I think. But she doesn't, I guess.
But she did. That's what's so frustrating.
I know.
Is she did. And he has her fucking dickmatized. It is incredibly annoying.
Yeah. So they go up to this, like, it looks like the Space Needle from Seattle, but it's in Auckland, I guess. And they're having drinks or whatnot. And then all of a sudden they see some, like, people rappel down from outside. And we already know Jen is scared of heights after the skydiving date. And a waiter comes up and is like, hey, you got one of two choices. You can either walk around up there or you can rappel. And Sam's like, we're gonna freaking rappel. And you know what it gave? It gave, I'm going to order your food for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I was like, ugh, we can have a conversation about it, The other thing that I noticed, and like, listen, you don't have to be like a knight in shining armor all the time and like chivalrous all the time, but I noticed this. When they get to the table, he doesn't pull her chair out.
Oh.
And if you're on a show where you're supposed to be romantic, there's like 6 things you got to do. When they cry, you need to be there with a shoulder, right?
Yep.
When there's a chair, you need to pull that fucker out. When you're walking down the street, you need to be on the street side. Like, there are like a few things that you should know about just in terms of like general chivalrousness.
I agree.
And I feel like he doesn't know these things. No.
I also, you might tell me I'm jumping ahead, but like him laughing at inappropriate times just really does not sit right with me.
He's got the vibe of, I've already won this. And I'm really cocky about everything.
But like when she's saying how scared she is,
Yeah.
He's like laughing at her.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no worse feeling than someone like laughing at something that's like actually serious to you and like makes you feel stupid for feeling some type of way. Like that is the opposite of husband material.
Yeah.
And she saw it. She knew it. And somehow still, by the end of the date, was giving him a fucking rose.
I know. It's like she's almost there. She can see it and then all of a sudden disappears. But I do think it's funny that like Sam being his authentic self is someone who doesn't give a shit about someone else. Like, okay, so your authentic self is that you don't give a shit that she's scared to do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I there are parts of it that I agree with. Like, he should have been more sympathetic to her fears and phobias. But like, he's not wrong of like, we have to do this. Like, this what an amazing opportunity.
No, I know, but it was his approach was horrible.
Yes. I think he made a ton of mistakes. So they finally go rappel down the thing, right? And you're like, okay, that was fun. She had a good time with it or whatnot. And then they go to like dinner or whatever, they go to the thing afterwards. And what was interesting to me is that usually it's the opportunity for the guy to tell like his sob story. But Jen starts first and tells her story. And it's like another one of those things of like antiquated non-feminism with this guy around for some reason. Do you get that vibe?
Absolutely. I don't like him at all.
I know.
Yeah, it's giving minimal effort. It's giving I'm better than this.
Yeah.
It's giving just ick. I just
think that he thinks he's got it in the bag.
He does, and there's nothing more unattractive than that.
Yeah. So then he tells the story of how he was engaged, which I feel like we've heard already, and then how that his ex cheated on him, which I guess we've heard. I'm also like, did she cheat?
I know.
What did you do to promote this? To provoke this, buddy? Were you ordering food for her like it was 1923?
Were you laughing at things she was scared about?
Yeah. Maybe that was it. Who knows? Maybe the guy that she was cheating on you with was a gentleman and a scholar.
Yeah.
Who knows? Anyways, I'm sure he's also a fine gentleman, but I don't know. We'll see.
Enough about him.
Yeah. All right. So
Let's
then,
not give him any more time.
Fine. So then there is a group date where they all go play rugby.
Yep.
Very fun.
Very fun.
And then also like juxtaposed with like Devin and Sam having to be back at home.
I know.
So funny.
Yeah. So do they just sit them in a room, like force them to sit in a room and just someone sitting there saying like, hey, can you guys have a conversation?
Well,
how this is happening?
How I think it would be was like, hey, so it's both of you guys. We have to film something while you're here. It's going to be weird if like you guys don't interact and like try to bury the hatchet or whatever. So like we got to talk. And yeah, it'd be like, it'll make no sense to the audience if like you guys don't do anything today, because obviously you guys don't like each other. So Sam kind of goes in at Devin, and I tell you what I like about Devin. Devin just holds his ground, just like doesn't get flustered, doesn't get angry.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I was in that situation, I would be like, "Fuck you, man!" Like, and like probably like be shaking and be like angry. But Devin just kind of leans back and he's just like, "I don't give a fuck about you, dude."
I know, I love it. I'm here for it.
Like, Dev,
mm-hmm.
Where did you come from, you confident king?
Devin has BDE for sure.
He does. And yeah, remember when we were talking about how everyone was calling him fucking Pete Davidson?
Yeah.
It's not because he looks like Pete Davidson.
Mm-mm.
It's because he's got a hog like Pete Davidson.
Definitely.
Does, yeah.
Definitely.
All right, so rugby date. They open up with a haka, which is pretty cool. Sam N is taking charge. Sam M? Sam M. Sam N. Whatever.
Don't know. Don't care.
The love virgin is taking charge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then he thinks it's a good idea to write on his jersey Jen's husband, which is not a good idea. And
Never.
It's like really cringy for whatever
So
reason.
cringy.
Yeah. Sam's team wins the rugby date, and then that one guy hurts his shoulder. What's that guy's name? Army Ranger.
Marcus?
Army Ranger hurts his shoulder.
Is his name Marcus?
I think Marcus is right.
I think it's his name. But you know, he didn't even like, he said nothing about it.
Well, that guy has been in like a firefight in like Afghanistan.
I love that about him. Like, instead of all these other bitch boys that would be like, "Oh, I'm injured.
Oh yeah.
Jen, where's the camera?" And he's like, "I'm good.
No, I'm fine."
Yeah.
Yeah. So the blue team wins. Sam, for whatever reason, thinks that he is the MVP. I don't know why. One of the other guys scored all the points.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go to the dinner, and Sam's just like, or they go to the cocktail party,
yeah.
and Sam is walking in with the trophy, his bad boy leather jacket, like he's a greaser from The Outsiders, and for whatever reason, another jersey tucked into said jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Sam thinks he's going to get this group date rose.
For sure, yeah.
And then he thinks that when he does that, he's going to make out with her finally.
Oh my God.
Which is cringe.
So has he never kissed a girl?
I don't know. That's what's confusing. So he says he's a virgin, but a love virgin. So then in my mind, you're like, okay, so you've had sex with people, you just never been in love, which is fine.
Well, the way he asked for permission to kiss her was giving, I've never kissed anyone.
Yeah, you can't do that.
No.
But hold on, we're not there yet. So he's just giving, like, he thinks he's in his bad bitch area. He keeps saying that, and I'm like, I feel like that's for girls to say. I don't think guys can say that. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, Sam, but he's making a lot of bad life decisions. He, like, sits down with the trophy, like, doesn't anyone let anyone sit around him, which is weird. I do feel like a producer's pumping up his tires. And
for sure.
And you want to be like, dude, you need to chill the fuck out.
Uh-huh.
But all these guys are getting so mad at him. And in my mind, if I was there, I'd be like, why are we getting mad at this guy? Like, we know she doesn't like him. Like, why are we wasting energy on this? But of course, the Robin to Batman, Thomas, has to come in and be like, I need to fight you outside. We got to talk about this. And I agree with Sam. Sam's like, dude, you need to focus on your shit. Like, you're always doing this, pulling people outside. Dude, focus on her. But doing that made it so it's so much funnier when he goes and steals from Thomas.
Oh, for sure.
Which I love that. That was one of my favorite parts of the show.
I'm sure you did.
So good.
Like, what would have happened if Thomas had been like, no?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, grow a fucking pair and tell him no.
Yeah, no,
I
not
would think
doing it.
that's so hot if somebody was like, you know what, bro, no.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
gonna need 5 more minutes, so
Come back,
no.
bud. Go
Yeah.
take a pee-pee
I'd
break.
be like, hot.
Yeah. Go put some oil on that. Go oil up that leather jacket real quick. Then Sam asked for a kiss. Has anyone ever asked to kiss you?
You know what's funny is like now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it's the delivery that was so cringy because my ex did ask to kiss me the first time we kissed, but it was very hot the way he did it. So I do think there's like a way.
How did you do it?
It's hard. I mean, it was just the vibe, which is hot. Like we were sitting on a picnic table and we were talking, and like mid sentence, he was like, "Can I kiss you? Like I've been wanting to kiss you all day, and like I need to kiss you now." And I was like, "Yes, please." And then we made out, and it was hot.
Yeah. Yeah, because someone else, I think it's like Grant or someone is like, I want to kiss you right now. Like can I kiss you right now? Like in the beginning of their like talking. So yeah, there's ways to do it the correct way. But you knew it was coming. I actually thought that I wish that she had given him the opportunity to make out and like had that moment on TV.
I don't, because I would not want that for any of my girlies.
I know. I do think he's handsome though.
I mean, he is, but the vibe it's not vibing, and it doesn't matter how handsome you are. If you give a girl the ick, there is no unicking.
Yeah,
no unicking.
You can't unick a dick.
You cannot. And let me tell you what, there is nothing. I was just having this conversation with my friend Alicia. There's nothing worse than a bad makeout, like a bad kisser, and like. I never experienced terrible kissing until I was an adult. Like all of my kisses have been really great up until a guy that kissed me like maybe 2 years ago, year and a half, somewhere like that. And it was the worst kiss I've ever experienced. And I am traumatized.
Wow, really?
Like I would not wish that on anyone.
Yeah.
And you can tell that makeout wasn't going to be good.
You don't know that.
I do.
What if he was also like he might be, I don't know enough about him, but like he might be like a sultan or something, you know?
I don't think so.
He could be. You don't know.
I've been around the block. I could guess.
I tell you what, I want to know who his producer was, because I want to give him a stern talking to. Like, you have done some terrible things to this poor man. Like, that's so mean.
Yeah.
And I went and did Dear Shandy podcast, and we were talking about this, and I was like, I desperately want this guy to be in paradise so I can give him good advice.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's just been getting filled with bad advice.
That's true.
I'd be like, bro, first of all, take off that jacket. You're not the Fonz, number one.
No.
Like, you need to be, and you also need to be cool. Step back. You're like way too much, you know? Like, set up a cute little thing. Like a cute little, like maybe a champagne thing with like a charcuterie board or something. Maybe write something with the charcuterie board, you know? Like, something romantic. Not like, you're my wife!
Yes.
On Jersey. Anyways. Brutal, he gets kicked out that way. I feel really, really bad for him. I really do. And then Marcus gets the rose.
I love Marcus.
I do too. What an amazing scene for Marcus. So I know what's happening to him, right? Not that I could ever be able to relate to someone who's been in like a firefight in Afghanistan as a Green Beret or whatever the fuck he is, Army Ranger. But he has for sure been the tough guy his entire life, right?
Definitely.
Or at least the past 10 years as he's been in the armed services. And he's never really been able to open up. And the thing about this show that's very unique is if you really break down what the show is you're being therapized 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 2 months straight. You're sitting in rooms talking about your feelings to a producer. You're sitting in rooms talking to a girl about your feelings with cameras on you. You're sitting in rooms talking to other men talking about your feelings. And this is a guy who's never been able to truly be able to explain his feelings about anything because that is implied as weak, right? And now he's doing it, and you can see the trauma and the pain and anguish of years of pent up emotions just oozing out of him now. I feel like it's quite beautiful.
I know.
I love this guy.
Me too.
I'm all for Marcus.
Me too. I like him.
Yeah. All right. And then finally, the thing we've all been waiting for. Actually, if I'm being honest with you, I was waiting for Sam and Devin to have a 2-on-1, but now we're getting the Devin date.
Right.
And I got to say, if you like really want to look at good storytelling, you need character arc. And boy, oh boy, have we had a masterclass in character arc with Devin. Because he was annoying as fuck in the beginning. And I thought he might be the villain.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, they go on this amazing date, learning about a different culture, explaining their cultures to one another. And they make Devin give a speech. The guy who is probably the best orator in the house stand up in front of all these like Maori tribesmen and give this wonderful speech about like, I don't have mountains, but my mountain was my mother. And you're like, oh, Dev. Dev! What?
Uh-huh.
I didn't see that coming, my guy. It's so funny, too, when they're like, okay, now you need to speak. He's like, I just like, get up. And they're like, yeah. And he's like, okay. And then he pops up, and boy, oh boy, if he doesn't deliver the most amazing speech I've ever heard in my entire life.
I've said it once. I've said it twice. I've been Team Devin.
You've been right about this the entire time.
I know.
I can't believe it.
It's the dad bod for me. You know, I'm a sucker for that.
I wrote in my notes, great speech from Devin. Wait, do I like Devin now? Jen and Devin have complicated family relationships that are very, very similar with like a father that like didn't give a shit and a mom that like raised them. Like they are puzzle piecing right now for sure, I think.
Definitely.
Devin says he's falling for her, which I don't think he says, I don't think anyone's ever said that before. But then I'm like, didn't Sam N say it on the Thunder from Down Under date?
He did, but that wasn't very genuine.
Does Sam N's anything he say count or not?
No. No. If you're a love virgin, it doesn't count.
Got it.
Yeah.
So anyways, before I think that I thought she was kind of keeping around because he was like good TV. Like he was good in interview, like he was entertaining. But now for the first time, I'm like, I think she's into this guy.
Yeah, I'm into him.
Are you?
Mm.
Well, Dev, hey, listen, if you don't make it to the end with Jen,
call me. I think he's too young for me, but it's fine.
Yeah, you could do some Cradle Robin, I think.
No. I will not be doing any of that.
All right, so then it ends with the guy from a past flying on his own dime.
This guy, I already hate him.
Okay, first of all, he didn't fly on his own dime. Let's be honest. Let's stop pretending about that. I don't know why it does make it more romantic of a gesture if like you spent your own money, but like what? I don't think so.
It's not romantic. It's giving, I didn't want you until I couldn't have you, and now I want you because I'm a piece of shit.
I disagree with this, and I'll tell you why.
Giving.
I'll disagree. She gets a little hot and bothered when he shows up. Like you're thinking that this guy's going to be a bad boy, right? Like you think he's like the bad ex, but all of a sudden you see him and he's like a short king, and you're like, oh, okay, I don't know. And she even said, she's like, this isn't the bad ex. This is what I think happened. She does say that, yeah. It's really, really convoluted, and you're not really sure what's going on. But he says something like, I didn't go to the weddings, right? And she's like, you didn't even go to the weddings? So this is what I think happened. I think that they were together probably before The Bachelor, right? Mm-hmm. And then after The Bachelor, they were talking again, and she didn't think she was going to be the Bachelorette, and he was like, I think they were rekindling things, and he was like, hey, I got to go to these weddings in I think they were in Colombia or something. And he's like, would you be my date? And I think she probably said yes, and then I think she was offered to be the Bachelorette, and then I think she had to be like, hey, I can't, I'm going to go be the Bachelorette. I'm not going to be in town or whatnot. And I think in his mind, that was going to be his opportunity to rekindle things. I could be totally wrong about this, but this is all the subcontext that I picked up from just like, you didn't go to the weddings? So anyways.
So you're reaching, but okay, continue.
Yeah, I think that he seems like a nice guy. I think that
seems fine.
I could tell that she likes him. Obviously, like they've got a past. Yeah. I say bring him into the fold. All right. Here's the thing. I don't like anybody except for now I like Marcus and Devin. Mm-hmm. Let's bring this guy in.
I hate when they bring in outsiders. I don't think it's fair.
Yeah. But if the goal of the show is to get engaged to your person,
Yeah. I'm
person
sorry.
might be their
I'm
person.
sorry. No, if he was her person, she wouldn't be the Bachelorette. She would not have said yes to that if she really thought he was her person. That's how I feel.
So you don't think that he's going to come in?
I don't think he should.
I disagree. I want him to come in. I think that
you.
you're right, and he won't.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that's not what I want.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Any thoughts, concerns, questions?
Not really,
Yeah.
There's still some guys I would really like to see more of.
Yeah, Grant. Sure.
I love Grant.
Yeah.
And there's one other guy whose name I don't know, but there's some cuties that I'm like, can we hear their vibe? Can we see what's going on with them? I've had enough of Sam and
I agree. And Thomas.
Fucking Thomas. Get him off my screen.
Get him out. That's the thing. I'm like,
get him out of here.
Replace Thomas with Matt.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Sure.
It's gonna be awkward when I go to Paradise and have to meet this Thomas guy and be like, listen, I didn't like you. I hope you're nice.
Yeah.
Anyways, who do you think's gonna win this thing?
I don't know. I could see her not ending up with anybody, honestly.
She might not, and she might not let Matt come on the show. She might not choose anybody, and then at the end is like, hey, I'm gonna go find Matt.
Be.
I could see that happening.
Yep.
Like this whole time, I've been realizing that like what I wanted was within my grasp the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
It was always right there, and I need to go get it, Jesse. Yeah. I tell you what, though, if she does pick someone, I can't believe I'm saying this. I think Devin's gonna win this thing.
I would love that. I love Devin.
I'm telling you, I think he does.
Yeah.
This podcast has been brought to you by Podcast Nation.